Body clay sculpting with Lance King.
Hi, my name is Lance King. Let's get started and take steps to meet the demands of your fitness goals. Okay, so with these first exercises, it's important to note that in each exercise, you're going to want to make sure to keep your head and your chest up. That way we can keep the lungs nice and open, and as well, it's going to keep your spine nice and straight. Okay, so we're going to do some leg exercises, and you're going to want just a chair. And if you want to get some resistance bands to make things a little bit more difficult, we'll talk about how we can improve that as well. Okay, so we're going to start our first exercise with step-ups. And with this leg exercise, the target area is going to be your inside thighs, your glutes, and your calves. So think of these things as you're doing the movement, because these will be the primary areas worked, especially the inside thigh. Now when performing the movement, you want to make sure to keep your head and your chest up. And all you're going to do is, with either a chair or find some stairs, you're going to put your leg on the chair so that you have a 90-degree angle. Put your hands up, which will help with keeping your head and your chest up. And then while blowing out all of your air, step onto the chair. Now, with the same leg that you step up onto the chair with, you're going to bring it down to the ground while keeping your head and your chest up. And you'll repeat for 10 reps. Make sure you're focusing on your breathing, you're blowing out as you go up, and taking in oxygen in your lungs as you come down. And once again, 90-degree angle with your legs. That way we can make sure your knees are nice and good, and you should be feeling it in your inside thigh. And a lot of times you'll feel it on the outer part of your glute and the outer part of your calves. So keep that in mind throughout the movement. Do about 10 repetitions if you can before switching to the other side. So that is step ups. Once you can do it with a chair, or you can do it in your home just using your own stairs. I'm now going to perform the seated chair squat movement. In this exercise, the primary targeted area is going to be the inside of your thighs, and you're going to get a lot with your glutes. Now when performing this exercise, remember to keep your head and your chest up and use that as a guide so you can keep lots of good oxygen here and make sure to keep things safe back here. Okay. So, find a chair, and then you want to have your feet spaced about shoulder width, whatever's comfortable for you. And then often I will keep my arms up because that reminds me to keep my head and my chest up and to keep my back nice and straight. So, keep your head up. Now I'm going to drop my butt down to the chair while keeping my hands elevated throughout the exercise. Now make sure you can see the chair before you come down. In fact, this is an even better way to start. Why don't you make sure you know where the chair is before you get up? And we'll start from here. You want to do about 10 repetitions if you can. Okay, you'll just stand up right out of the chair and then make sure to go down nice and slow, leading with your gluteus maximus. Okay, now blow out your air and come up. Take in oxygen as you come down and repeat. Take as much time as you need, especially on the descent. You know, research actually suggests that the way down, which is called the eccentric contraction, a little bit of information that way, that when you come down, it's actually going to be more lean muscle building. And we want that lean muscle because lean muscle requires more calories, which burns more fat at rest. Okay, you'll notice my hands are up throughout the movement. And just take this at your pace. If at the beginning you can only do 2 repetitions, great, that's fantastic. Start with those 2 repetitions, take maybe a minute break, and move back into 2 repetitions, take a minute break, and do maybe 5 sets of that. The idea here is to make sure that you're able to feel that burn in those muscles and to make sure that your form is absolutely correct. Super, super important. And lastly, remember to lead with your head and your chest up. This is chair squats. Hi, I'm going to demonstrate the exercise called star raises. Now, this is a leg exercise that targets your glutes, your inside thighs as the primary areas. What we're going to do is star raises are going to help increase the intensity of your chair squat. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you want to keep your head and your chest up throughout the exercise and make sure you're focusing on your breathing and the target areas that we're focusing on throughout the movement. Okay, so now I'll demonstrate. So what you'll do is simply get up out of the chair, but you're going to do this focusing on your hands, lifting your body weight up. Now, this exercise will just automatically keep your head and your chest up, so know that that'll keep your spine nice and straight and keep a lot of good oxygen ready for use with each muscle contraction. So what you're going to do is start where your hands are in the middle, and then you're going to rise straight up with your hands and then back down. And come down as fast as you need to. Remember that the muscle works coming up and on the descent. You're going to burn more calories, bringing in your shoulders, and it makes the exercise for your legs become just a little bit more strenuous. If you want to bring in a 5-pound dumbbell, that'll increase the workload even more. Okay, so that's the exercise. Once again, the inside of your quads or your thighs and your glutes are going to be the main areas focused on here. And you want to do anywhere from about 10 reps to, say, 15. If you can get to 15, that's fabulous. But if you can get to 10, that's also super awesome. So give this a go. This is called the Star Raises, and it's for the chair squats. We're going to go through the high knees exercise. Now this is a fabulous exercise because it brings in your glutes and the lower abs, which is something that, quite frankly, could always be tighter for most individuals. So if you're like me, who's constantly wanting to make sure that this is nice and tight, and this is nice and tight, you're going to love high knees. Now, regardless of your fitness level, it may be in your best interest to use the assistance of a chair to start with the motion, to start getting the calories burning and to make sure that your form is perfect. And then to get into high knees where you're able to do it with your own stabilizer muscles away from the chair. So let's show a demonstration of exactly how to do the high knees. Now if you're using the chair for stability, you may consider putting it in front of you, and with one hand holding the chair, the other raises the leg. Focusing on the knee, going nice and high. Or if you're more comfortable to put it to the side, that's completely fine. And you're just focusing on your knees, raising up to the chin. You may consider incorporating your arms where the arm lifts and the knee lift at about a parallel motion. See how simple this is? It's like a puppet. There's a string on your knee and your hands are just bringing up your knees. And then when you feel comfortable, raise the speed. And to really get a great workout, you may consider going a little faster. Okay, so that's high knees. It's important to ensure that you start with the foundation of what high knees is. And that's that you're targeting your glutes, you're targeting your inside thighs and your lower abs. You're doing this by raising, and it almost goes out just a touch. And then you may consider bringing in your arms as you start moving up faster. Okay, and if you can do this anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, take a break in between each set of about a minute, and then repeat. You will be amazed on how effective this exercise is. Hello. This next exercise is going to be an exercise that will target the outside of your glutes and the outside of your thighs. It's called the abductor leg raise. So let me just show you what this looks like with a chair, and then you may consider doing it without anything so that you can focus on building some stability in the core as well. So let's do this with the chair. Just turn a chair so that it's facing your side. Plant the leg closest to the chair, and then you're just going to simply raise the outside thigh as high as is comfortable for you. Now, I'm just going straight to the side. As you move into the exercise, you you may find that it's more comfortable to bring it slightly forward, which may target just a different area on your hip flexors and on your glutes. So you do this for about 10 repetitions, and I'm blowing out oxygen as I'm doing the exercise, and I'm keeping my head and my chest up, and that's to keep a nice, good amount of oxygen up here, keep my back nice and straight, and it'll help me to focus on what's actually being targeted. Now, as you're doing this exercise, you may shoot for 10 repetitions, or you may just go until you feel like you're exhausted. And wherever you're at with this, it's okay. The main thing here is to get you starting to do this exercise so that this particular area can become more activated. Now, the reason I say this is because the abductor and adductor exercises aren't typically done a whole lot. And so the hip flexors and some muscles near and around the groin area aren't activated as often as they should be. And what this means for us is that if we're doing other exercises, because these muscles aren't used a whole lot, we may find that they become strained in some way. So this is kind of what I mean by, take this at your own pace. Also, make sure you go up and descend nice and slow. Go up as high as is comfortable. You'll feel a nice stretch with your inside thigh as it goes up, but you'll feel that muscle in the hip flexors and in the glutes being targeted. Okay, and then you may consider doing it without the chair, focusing on just using your core stability. And that's kind of how you can advance. Okay, well, we are halfway finished with the first 5 of 10 exercises developing your exercise program for your life. I'm Lance King.
Body clay sculpting